Part 5 URF and EPS Model. JICA Hiroshima Training in 2025. I explained new technology of URF without chemicals to reduce turbid matter using bucket model. They believed mechanical reduction by slow filtration with fine sand in 200 years ago. They called slow sand filter. I proposed ecological purification system instead of slow sand filter in Japan. The key is gentle for any biological communities in this system. We can make super clean water without chemicals. Development of eco-friendly and chemical-free turbidity countermeasures, upflow roughing filter in Brazil. Professor Luiz D. Bernardo examined upflow roughing filter in 1980 with master student. He presented at the International Conference on Slow Sand Filtration, London, 1988. At the International Conference in 1988, Martin Wegelin from Switzerland reviewed past roughing filters. International Joint Experiment. In 1996, a roughing filter manual was published in Switzerland. I got roughing manual. I examined URF from 1996 in Japan. I noticed a large contribution of biological action in URF. It has good settling properties and is similar to activated sludge in sewage treatment, where the biological community is active. The activity of biological communities is key. Nakamoto was a JICA advisor of the control of a reservoir ecosystem to São Paulo University and Federal University of São Carlos in 1974 and 1976. Nakamoto examined multiple roughing filters to eliminate SS from an irrigation canal water with my students. I also confirmed that filter resistance of normalized head loss in open filter was almost constant. But the resistance of covered filter increased almost every day. In this experiment, algal growth under sunshine. Then, increase grazing activity by animal. These animals search for food, make holes, and do not increase the resistance of the water. We conrhymed the role of algae in EPS. I remember that Berlin WKS discovered that covered filters are much less efficient than open. Open is better. In Japan, river water is usually clear and small amount of water. And, after heavy storm event, river water becomes dirty and rapidly increases. A large amount of heavy and large particles in a storm water. Flood water is dirty. There is huge amount of soil matter from land surface. There were extremely small particles like as colloidal particles in case of small turbidity, like as less than 20 NTU. The rapid settling of turbid matters was observed within 4 hours. However, a large portion of turbidity did not decrease. OISCA has started working on the idea that EPS, which applies natural mechanisms, can produce safe drinking water without relying on others. There are sedimentation tank, 4 gravel filters, and slow sand filter. Polluted water turns to safe and reliable water quality. Mr. Kazuki of OISCA made a big effort to apply EPS for rural people. In Sri Lanka 3 upflow roughing filters sand filter safe drinking water, 300 liters day. This water is the demand of safe drinking and cooking water for 5 to 6 families. I met Niko-san in Fiji, in June, 2017. He showed his text on EPS. Niko-san participated OISCA training in Fukuoka, Japan, in 2007 during 1 year. He remember my work on ecological purification system. I tried to make subsurface suspension-free clean water in the floodplain using a circulation model in my house in Ueda. JICA training in Miyakojima Island, Okinawa started from 2006. This is JICA training of ecological purification system using a simple model in Miyakojima Island, Okinawa, Japan, November 7, 2007. I always explained the function of EPS using the model. We showed how to make EPS device to JICA participants. Receiving tank, settling tank. In case of open tank, filamentous algae clog the outlet. Heavy particulate matters are easily settled. However, colloidal light particles like silt material are not settled in this settling tank. Upflow roughing filter, URF gravel filter. Additional URF if necessary. Colloidal fine particles adhesive to the surface of gravels. Small animals scrape them and produces fecal pellets. Fecal pellets accumulated to the bottom. When the filter resistance increase, the drain cock is opened in short time to drain the mud, accumulated fecal pellets. There is natural downflow in the sand filter. Biological active layer is only surface and thin layer beneath the surface. Algae and animals grow well on and beneath the sand surface. Deep sand layer is a guarantee layer for emergency. I recommend insert the mesh cover on a porous pipe at the bottom in sand filter. I recommend to put a cover for storage tank. In case of JICA training, we use circulation model using pump. Filter rate can be measured using a cup and is regulated by a cock. We can calculate amount of filtrate. Then, you can find this system has a fairly large capacity. I studied on ecological function of Miyako Island. I made a video on EPS function of Miyako Waterworks in March 2004 and published a book in August 2005. Then JICA made video in 2008. This was revised in full version and short digest version in 2020. You can watch these. And I also made some videos. JICA training on Ecological Purification System, EPS, in Okinawa, Japan in 2022. Mr. Yano-san made also video. You can watch this. How to make EPS model in the course of JICA Hiroshima in 2017. Mr. Daniel Castro made this and uploaded to YouTube.
Un sistema ecológico, económico y replicable que puede ser utilizado por pequeñas, medianas y grandes comunidades. Este sistema fue desarrollado por el Dr. Nobutada Nakamoto.
This photo is Ecological Purification System model for safe drinking water. JICA training in Okinawa, on January 16, 2024. There is 2 URFs. After 3 weeks, they enjoyed delicious super clean water. This water is always circulated. Available nutrient was eliminated, absorbed, by biological activity. Decomposition and mineralization in URF. Algae grow well. Algae absorbed nutrient. Clear filtrate water. The filtrate became nutrient-poor water. Filtrate water that is free of substances that living things can react with. It's water that tastes delicious and sweet. Most of small organisms live on the surface of substrata, sand particle, under slow current condition. They live at the top of sand layer where food comes. They are always waiting for food. They are hungry. It is better there is large area of surface. However, too small particle, filter resistance increases towards smaller size of particle. Points: shallow depth, enough radiation on the bottom, rapid growth, large size of sand. Shallow depth. Algae grow well. I advised to make water supply plant to the National Ratnapura Hospital, Sri Lanka by EPS. Souse water is muddy water of tropical rivers. I explained the chemical-free mechanism of EPS, the maintenance and management of EPS at the site to the engineers. This was wise use of natural system. The manager understood the reason that we had commercial technology. The manager said, "This is natural filter and behind is commercial filter of rapid sand filter. We need simple low technology." I explained the chemical-free mechanism of EPS, the maintenance and management of EPS at the site to the engineers. This was wise use of natural system. The manager understood the reason that we had commercial technology. This is part 5. This lecture continue to part 6.